My connection with Washington Performing Arts began when I became the arts coordinator at the Center for the Visual Performing Arts at Suitland High School, and learned that there was a long tradition of professional artists who work with WPA coming to Suitland and interacting with students. When I realized that A, it was free, and B, that the staff was the WPA staff was as welcoming and as interested in partnering with us. Any opportunity that came up, we figured out a way to make it fit. The Ataka Quartet was a master class, and what was phenomenal about that was they actually listened to the students play for about almost an hour. It felt maybe 35 minutes, but it felt like a really long time. And they listened, then they listened again and gave feedback. And I think for a lot of our freshmen for whom this was their first year doing it, I actually have video of their faces as they're listening to the feedback and watching them perform. It was eye-opening because they take for granted. One of the things that WPA does for us is that it's an equalizer. Our students come from throughout the Prince George's County school system. And so there are students who travel 20 minutes, there are students who travel over an hour to come to us every day. And they are across the socioeconomic spectrum. So some students have more access than others to live performances. And so we take for granted that because they come to us with all of these abilities and talents, maybe a middle school or elementary school teacher put an instrument in their hand and they took to it and we see them perform so well. So we just kind of assume that they know what we know about the professional world of performance, but that's not always the case. And so what WPA does is that it creates that equalizer where all students can have access to live performances, whether they can afford to or not. And the same kind of performances. So what the Ataka did was they listened to the students, gave feedback, and then they performed for them. And watching the students in real time understand and see what it is that they were talking about in terms of the energy, in terms of attacking the pieces. It was like, it's difficult to explain, but athletes get a little bit more, you get to see it more with athletes when they get to see their, professional athletes and the adulation and like awe. And you can actually see it on film. It was phenomenal to watch.